And it's a story that has gained national attention now. Teleka Patrick, a 30-year-old doctor in residency at Western Michigan University, went missing December 5th of last year. Here's what we know about the time that she was seen last time anyway. This is surveillance footage at the Radisson Hotel in Kalamazoo, where she tried to get a room but apparently didn't have enough money. Shortly after that, an employee there then dropped her off at Borges Hospital, where she worked. That was the last time she was seen. Later that night, her car was found abandoned in Porter, Indiana, with a flat tire. Police drilled holes in the ice, lowered sonar equipment into the water of a lake nearby, searched for any signs of Patrick, but they weren't able to find any clues. Since then, details of her personal life have surfaced, none of which resulting in substantial leads, though. And as the search for Teleka continues, her family says they are desperate for answers. They sent us a statement saying, quote, "We have fished for clues on Twitter, spoken to hordes of friends and associates, hung up signs on cold metal posts, and every step of the way we've prayed like we've never prayed before." Well, this morning, we're joined by Jim Carlin, the private investigator in this case that they've hired now to talk about the latest developments. So, Jim, thank you very much for coming up here to talk about this. Let's get started with that. Are there any new developments in this case?
You know, tips continually come in to myself and the sheriff's department. We look at them. A lot of them just go nowhere, but one of the things that the family is quite frustrated with over these last few weeks is Sheriff Fuller, when he gave his statement that there was no connection to the church that she attempted to join. And I'm not saying that they or people up there are involved, but she went and tried to join this church. There's people that know her, there's people that talk to her, and perhaps someone in that church might call the sheriff's department or myself and kind of give us an idea of what her demeanor was. Something scared her to the point on December 5th that she left Kalamazoo, and then she wound up at mile marker 23 in Indiana, and it's just as if she evaporated from that point on.
Yeah, no doubt about that. They've been searching that area, as we mentioned, searched a lake nearby there, drilled some holes, dropped in some sonar equipment to find her. Do you think that Teleka is alive?
I do. I do.
What makes you think that?
Well, I think it's my Irish cop intuition, but someone else, it could be that someone befriended her and she has not totally told the story. For a minimal amount of time that the car went off the road and the sheriff's department found the car and searched, it would just seem inconceivable that you could be picked up that quickly, especially picked up by a bad person.
If that's the case, then where do we need to look for Teleka Patrick? Where is she? Is she somewhere beyond Indiana? Is she back in Michigan somewhere? Where are you focusing your search?
All over. ABC has been great to us with a lot of coverage nationally. People magazine 2 weeks ago. Someone knows this face. Someone knows something. She could be back in Michigan. She could be in Chicago. We just don't know.
You've been involved in other high-profile cases that we've covered extensively here on Wood TV. Mary Lands.
Yes, I've had the pleasure with Mr. and Mrs. Lands Mr. and Mrs. Marshall being up here a couple of times to see you. It's going to be 10 years in March since she disappeared. And as you know, we know who the perpetrator of that case is. He has just not been charged by the prosecutor.
Yep, very highly covered there as well. A decade coming up in March, obviously. Hopefully we're not going to end up with a case like with Teleka Patrick here lasting that long. And hopefully with your help or any kind of tips that may be able to come in here, we'll get some new information on this case. So if you know anything about Teleka Patrick's whereabouts or anything at all that you haven't been able to express so far, you need to give police a call.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you so much, Jim. We appreciate your time.